how so many children are self-centered without even realizing it, whether it's posting so many images of themselves, having pictures of themselves on their phone, the vanity that is just taking over. And it's like, are these same children going to be there for you when you need them? Like, when you raise kids who only think about themselves or have no family allegiance or intrinsic value to take care of someone else in their family at the very least, what are we creating? This 40, 50 generation is one of the last generations taking care of their parents. And a lot of us have dropped the ball in co-parenting, listening to the other side to say, hey, you're raising this child to be a brat. You're raising them to be selfish. I just heard a story about a woman who has the first stages of cancer and was wanting more support from her son. And the son was like, I got something else to do. And the mother reflected about the ex-husband who told the mother that you're raising somebody's headache. This child is too selfish. You're creating a brat. And why does it take being too late to recognize that certain things just do not reciprocate when it's just a one-way street, a pouring out? And when you're poured out and nothing is coming in return, what do you think is going to happen when you get older? It's amazing how so many people are giving to their children, males and females, to the point that their children have no understanding of responsibility, the ability to be uncomfortable enough to change, to recognize they need to grow up, to mature. Like, certain things need to be done. Like, if you don't clean your room, it's going to stink and you're going to stink and your clothes are going to stink and probably bugs and everything else is going to happen in that room. Especially in this economy that is not very sustainable. We got robotics taking over jobs like crazy. Lyft, Uber, DoorDash, these are side hustles. These are not jobs for people to live off of. They're just not. I mean, Amazon, you got so many robots in the warehouse, and I mean, just look at the self-driving cars. I mean, think about when these self-driving cars take over the semi-trucks, the tractor trailers, as well as the Amazon deliveries and these other institutions. But out of convenience, we support these companies, and we don't recognize we're taking away from longevity of an economy. And it's just so much stuff that this current generation of people is supporting that is not going to be healthy long term. Some of these jobs have no 401k, so who's going to have retirement? And even if your child does have the desire to take care of you, are they going to be in position at 50, 60 years old to take care of a 70, 80-year-old parent who needs them when they are still struggling to make ends meet. These are things to think about, people. These are things to think about. So when you raise your child and you raise them to only think about themselves, you're not thinking about yourself. You're not thinking about their potential spouse. You're not thinking about their kids. Because what kind of parent will they be when they're self-centered?
The thing that we have to really think about is, are we raising kids to value a single story? And that single story is their own. Or are we raising them to have value in understanding and knowing multiple different stories, multiple different perspectives, under having empathy versus acute compassion, having long-term empathy? Do we allow them the opportunity to understand and even get to a place that they watch us shift our perspectives about something? Or is it that they're always right? Do they see you go about it and say, you know what? I could actually have this right now, but let me give this to somebody else. I don't really need it. I can have it, but I don't really need it. Do they see you engaging in community care, in family care, in individual care? Or do they watch you strictly go about life focused on the single story of isolationism and self-preservation? If that's the case, when they get older, they're going to still believe in isolationism and self-preservation. And that even includes how they see you.
And as she was saying that, I was just thinking about, can you correct your children? I mean, I did a short earlier talking about if you can't correct them, you're going to regret them. And that speaks very loudly when we have a lot of selfish, narcissistic behaviors going on in this world. I mean, just look at driving down the street. People not respecting the four-way stops, not stopping out of turn, people cutting you off. I mean, double lane streets with 20, 35 miles out of speed limits, and people can't wait to go around you, and you doing 30 miles on the 25 miles an hour. I mean, it's crazy on so many. I pray that those of you all who still have a chance to raise your kids, that you do whatever adjustments need to be made. May God's hand be on your heart to help you start the process at whatever age to create a new stage of development so that peace can really be in the family, in the child, in the parent. Because remember this, children want to be corrected. They want real love. You know, the first thing that 1 Corinthians 13 says about love, it says love suffers long. Are you willing to go through the pain of changing to be a better parent? Then it says love is kind. Kind does not mean nice. Nice will not tell you what you need to know because I don't want to hurt your feelings. Kind will tell you that your breath stink and offer you a peppermint at the same time. I'm telling you what you need to know so that you can be better, so that you can make the necessary adjustments in life. So I pray that you receive the kindness in this message, that you can listen to both parents, that you can recognize what your parents gave you to make you successful, even though it wasn't comfortable. If you look at Deuteronomy chapter 8, it says you didn't go without. And it also says that God chastised those he loved. And then it further goes on to say, then all these blessings came. So notice the parenting of God, which shows how we should parent. First, I made sure you had what you needed. Next, I corrected and chastised you, even though it was not comfortable. 40 years around that mountain until you learned your lesson. You're not going away until you learn your lesson. And then finally, guess what? Now you get the blessing. How many of us spent so much time in school or doing, certain things that took a while before we got it? How many times did we recognize we were the problem in our relationship? How many times have we had to walk around that same mountain of regret? Not even with raising kids, just our own self. That we had to suffer. That we had to miss out on that person that really was good for us or whatnot. So, what do you want to do to be better, to have better, to get better, and to stay out of regret? I pray that you are upset just enough to change for better. Peace on you. I pray that your night goes well and everything you see leads you to the prosperity in raising kids and better relationships.